Michael, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. It's a disappointing result, but it feels worse when you've got a legitimate reason to say we were probably the better team on the night.
I don't think there's any problem. I think we were the better team. Dominated the game for large parts. Didn't take chances. Big moments in the game. Can't remember them hurting us at any real point. There's a foul in the build-up to the goal. It bounces around, it ricochets, and Fletcher's stood offside. He stood on the line and he's ahead of Lee. But that's where we're at at the minute. The team's getting disrupted again through necessity, not through choice. We would have left the team alone because I thought we were in control of the game without obviously winning it. Tight games. So this game, the Bolton game, there's one moment in the game. The Birmingham game, there's nothing in the game, and they scored from 25 yards. And we can't find that moment at the minute.
There was a buzz about the stadium in the first half, given the performance, the way the players were popping the ball off to each other and creating chances and opening Wrexham up on occasion. It's a shame not to have built and capitalised on that.
Yeah, and again, it's the disruption that I think we've had to take. Tuanda's had to come off because he's knackered. Ruffs has got cramp. Nigel's felt his hamstring. Josh Caroma's felt his calf. So we're making subs through necessity, not because we want to. And that's the real frustration, that we can't. You're not watching the game from a tactical point of view going, well, we can tweak this or we can put him on to affect that. We're just reacting constantly. And it's disruptive and it's difficult to keep rhythm. We've made 2 subs and they literally scored 2 seconds afterwards. And it's frustration. The players are giving everything. There's no lack of effort. It's just that we just need somebody at some point, particularly at home, to find that moment. Because I think if we score the first goal today, we go on to win the game.
Is there any end in sight for the disruption? I know that's a difficult question to ask you straight after the game, but with players hopefully coming back and fitness building, is there an end in sight of maybe being able to play your best team?
No, not really. No, I think probably Cass is the next one back in line, but he won't be ready for the weekend. We've got to count the bodies again today. There could be potentially 2 or 3 or 4 that might not be available for the weekend. It's tough. We look better in the 3-5-2 shape again. That's what we want to get to. But we finished the game at back 4 with Hoggy as part of that back 4. It shows you how light we are.
For yourself, then, what's the work that goes on the back of this? You've said in the past that you watch the video back and you work on things, but the team didn't feel like they were too far off for large parts.
That's why we went back to the 3. Well, we went back to that's the way we want to play. Is in the 3-5-2. We've had to try and be creative, based on personnel. It's the first time in a long time we've been able to keep the same team. So we don't want to change everything every 2 minutes. We don't want to have to change shape. We don't have to keep changing the team. A lot of it's been enforced on us. But ultimately, we'll pick the positives out of it. I don't think there were too many negatives other than the result. Like I said, there's not a lot you can do on the goal. There's a foul, a ricochet, and an offside goal. So there's not a lot we can do about that. We can be a bit more. Well, we have to be more clinical. Ultimately, when in these tight games, you need to find the big moments, and the first goal is always really important, as it proved today.
Bristol Rovers next at the weekend. What does the rest of the week look like between now and then?
Count the bodies, see who's available, and make a plan. Try and win another away game. It's simple, but it isn't.
Michael, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Rod.